Depressed gives you a feeling of hopelessness. Depressed gives you a feeling of not worth. And a person can't feel that. On the other hand, we want him to feel bitter because he is lower than the lowest low life, because in his challenge he doesn't overcome his animal instinct, compared to the low life's challenge that doesn't come his animal instinct. So that's the most important thing. 411.
411.
So he says the best time to get bittered about your spiritual situation is when you're already depressed about some financial or physical things. Like, let's say your financial situation is no good. So then divert your depression to bitterness and spiritual things. Or if you're depressed about a health issue, divert it to spiritual things, so make it into a bitter situation rather than a depressed situation. So he says, after you go through this bitter experience and realizing how you're low life and lower than the lowest low life in your level, then he says you'll get to the true happiness. Why? He says, 411, he will then arrive at a true joy as follows. In order to comfort his heart in double measure, let him, in the wake of the above words of truth concerning his lowly spiritual stature, tell himself the following. The comfort
is dual. Not only is his depression eliminated, but he will also attain a joy which he would never experience were it not for his earlier depression.
What does he
say?
say?
I said yesterday.
He says, this is the words he says. The truth is, I am far removed, utterly remote from God, and I'm despicable, contemptible, and so on. I'm the worst. This is only true with my body and the animating soul within me. So that my body and my animal soul is meshukah, it's mesu'if, meruchak, it's the worst that can be. Yet, within me there is a veritable part of God, which is the godly soul, which is present even in the most worthless of my fellows. So that even if I am no better than this low life on the street, I still have a part of God within me. Namely, what's the part of God? The divine soul and the spark of godliness itself, clothed in it, animating it. So yes, if you look at my body and my animating soul, the animal soul, yes, I'm the worst than the lowest low life. But I have a godly soul in me, which is a piece of God. The only problem is, my godly soul is in exile within me because it's never in this body. The more I realize how despicable I am and contemptible, so that means that my divine soul is in a deeper exile, and it's more pity on it because my divine soul is in such a low life body like me. And I feel so terrible for my divine soul to be in such a state of condensed, limited state of godliness. So I have pity on him. So let me get my godly soul out of this exile. Let me get my godly soul out of this despicable. How? Therefore, I will make my entire aim and desire to extricate it from its exile and to return her to her father's home, to restore the godly soul to God. How? The way it was before it came into my body. I can make my godly soul right now be connected to God even more than it was before it came to this world. How? Now too, will it likewise be absorbed and united with God again. How? When I concentrate all my aspirations on Torah and mitzvahs in an effort to clothe my godly soul with its 10 faculties in Torah and the mitzvahs and so on. Uvefrat mitzvahs tefillah, litzik al Hashem batzala megalusa, bigufi ha-mishuas lahitzi memaskal okav yisbarach, especially in fulfilling the mitzvah of prayer. will I try to release my divine soul by crying out to Hashem because of the distress of its exile in my loathsome body, so that He release it from captivity and bind it to Himself. This is what it says. What does tshuva mean? Tshuva doesn't mean regret. Tshuva means return. Return my soul, my godly soul, to its source. How? By doing ma'asim tovim, by doing mitzvahs and learning. I connect my soul back to the source and getting it out of the exile of the loathsome, despicable body and animal soul. So that's the idea of tshuva. This is
an oft-used Talmudic expression denoting the mitzvahs, as in the statement, 1 hour of tshuva is good, with good deeds in this world is better than all the life of the world to come. At first glance, the juxtaposition of the two seems incongruous. Tshuva deals with astonishing for one's past imperfection, for atoning for one's past imperfection, while good deeds are performed in the present and would seem to bear no relation to one's past. According to the Alter Rebbe's statement, however, that one's performance of the mitzvah should be motivated by a desire to return his soul to its source within God. The connection between the two is clear. The good deeds themselves actually constitute tshuva, which means return, as the Alter Rebbe continues.
This denotes the good deeds which one does with the intention of returning the soul, which is a part of God, to the divine source and root of all the worlds. So this is what our job should be. Let's return our soul to its source. Get our soul out of the despicable, loathsome the temptations and lusts and desires of the animal instincts, and let's learn Torah and do mitzvahs so your soul can be connected to God more than it was when it before it came to this world.